Live from the 5 Eyewitness News Studios, it's Twin Cities Live with John Hansen and Elizabeth Reese.
Okay, we got some fun ways to escape from the Twin Cities, including taking a trip up north. We're going to meet the photographer behind a new book. It's all about spending time up at the cabin. Look at these photos that he has taken.
Look at that.
We got the stories behind these photos too. Take a trip to the cabin without even having to leave your house. We're going to meet the photographer behind a new book. It's called Up North. Our next guest has worked all around the world, but spending time at the cabin, that's where he feels most inspired.
Yeah, and he's put some of his favorite photos of his time up north into a new book. It's called Up North, and we want to welcome Joe Brandmeier to Twin Cities Live. Hi, Joe. Nice to see you.
Hey, thanks for having me.
All right, first of all, we have to, give a little shout out to your very, very famous wife, who we love here on Twin Cities Live. Joe is married to Joan Steffendt, former Twin Cities news anchor, who we all know and love.
Lucky me.
Yeah, lucky you. And who are these lovely ladies?
That would be Jordan, my stepdaughter Blair, and yours truly, and of course Joan. It's funny because it's one of the few pictures we have together, because being in the business, we'd never take any pictures.
Yeah.
So this is the one that we have together.
Well,
it's an old one.
You took a lot of pictures for your new book, Up North.
Did.
That is for sure. And how'd this get started?
You know, I think it started a long, long time ago because the passion for Up North came when we were just kids. Do you remember the times when your parents would pack you in the car and kind of send you north, and there was no seatbelts? You remember the no seatbelt days?
No.
Kids flying around all over the place in the car. But that was our thing. I mean, we went up north. That was our vacation. We went north. We went to the cabin. We went to the lakes. We went anywhere in northern Wisconsin. That was our big break. So I think it's kind of started there.
And this is the cabin that you grew up remembering as a kid? And whose cabin was this?
This is my grandpa's. It's tucked away in the Nicolet National Forest in northern Wisconsin. It's really a true log cabin. I mean, gas, everything, outhouse, the whole works, and that's kind of where we grew up. That was our vacation home.
Oh my gosh. Okay, what is this?
Well, this is Little Brothers. This is actually the cabin in real life. A couple of brothers, kind of strangely close brothers we were when we were kids. But basically, that's kind of where the passion came from. I think as kids, both as a really close family that we have right now, which is really important, and I think also just because of the woods and the getaway itself, that was our little escape.
We saw you real close right there. We stopped the video just before one got knocked out.
Yeah.
All right.
The outhouse scene was great. You should have seen that.
Well, I told you right before we came on, when you take a look at the pages of your book, I literally would make noises out loud, like gasping, because some of these are so breathtaking. They really are. Let's talk about this picture with the deer.
The deer.
And tell us the story behind this.
Oh my gosh.
Well, you know, it's wild because one of the things that we did, we picked a bunch of quotes that went with this stuff. I mean, I really kind of handpicked the quotes. And it went from Albert Einstein to my brothers. But this picture is just one of those things of, it's basically a moment. I mean, when you're sitting up north and you're sitting in the woods, you just never know when a moment like that will come.
How does this happen?
Yeah.
How does it happen?
Yeah. I mean, I'm never that close to a deer.
Well, I think it's a combination of patience, luck, and just kind of hanging out. I think, like I said, in my real job as a producer and director, I use it as an escape. So you go up there, and sometimes you can sit in the woods for hours. I mean, 3, 4, 5 hours is a good example. I mean, we spent 2 or 3 years or 2 or 3 trips in Haiti. So when I come back from there, it's very easy to sit in the woods and let the world kind of disappear, and that's when you get those moments.
This is you working with the Fugees, right?
It is.
I mean,
Fugees, Wyclef Jean, that's in Haiti.
Wow.
We spent a couple trips down in Haiti. Speaking of hot, it was very hot down there.
And that's like your high energy, high stress
Oh yeah, it's crazy.
job.
It's nuts. Yeah, I mean, it's always nuts. And somebody the other day, we were talking about the book, and a woman said the reason she loves the book and to go up north is because nature doesn't ask anything of her.
Yeah.
And I think that's really important because as a director, people are always going, blah, blah, they're always asking you stuff. So up north, you just sit there and nobody asks. There's no clients, there's no strong personalities. You're just kind of hanging out.
I heard you talk to some of the locals too to try to find maybe the best spots to get the best shots.
Yeah, it's great. It's great. Because one of the things I love to do, I don't know about you guys when you go up north, but I love the little cafes.
Yeah,
so we stop in the cafe, you have, the eggs and the bacon and whatever else, and then you just start talking. And people go, you got to go up here because there's a bear up there I saw the other day, and you got to go over here because this is over there. So yeah, the cafes and the gift shops were always really important.
So the deer photo, I know you had to sit for a long time to capture that. How long did you sit for the deer photo?
I think it's a combination of hours.
Hours.
I don't really, you never bring a watch with me.
Yeah. But this photo that's on the cover, it was just kind of a get out of the car and grab it?
It's a combination of, like I said, sitting and patience and then luck. Every once in a while, you just kind of run into it. I was literally coming around the corner on my way to somewhere else, and I saw this shot, and you know, you're always thinking, especially with a camera next to me, and I literally just jumped out of the car and snapped a shot, and it became the cover of the book.
It is so beautiful.
It absolutely is. And you mentioned briefly, there's quotes throughout the book with each photograph. Can you expound on that a little bit more?
The quotes were something I really took some time digging up. They weren't just kind of like made up. So it goes from Albert Einstein, Socrates, all the way down to my brothers. And it's a combination of quotes like, you know, from John Muir, who is basically the father of our national parks, who talks about, I think his quote was simply, when one tugs at a single thing in nature, he finds it attached to the rest of the world. And I really kind of believe that. I think we're all attached in some form or fashion. Then it goes all the way to the other extreme, which is crazy, which is a good friend of ours talked about. I think outside of the time I burned down my rental cabin, up north turns my mindset from espresso to tea. So it's a mixture of really great quotes to really simple quotes.
And I hear that Ian Punnett from My Talk 1071
Ian had
is
a quote in there.
Who is one of a pretty wise guy, I would say.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
He deserves a little space. This is so cool.
And Joan, of course, has 2 quotes in there.
Well, hello, Joan.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't know how she...
You better get it.
Yeah, I was gonna
Can I ask you, though, about your camera? Do you have, like, a favorite? I always wonder from photographers. I know people, when you're camera shopping for your family, you want to know, what do you love?
I think I was a Canon guy for a long time. Now I'm a Nikon guy.
All right.
D300, Nikon. And the big thing for me is know your camera, really understand your gear, because if you're sitting in the woods and you're kind of tuning out and all of a sudden you turn around and there's a 400 or 500 pound bear sitting next to you, you really need to understand your camera. So I think it's a combination of lenses and great cameras.
I've got an iPhone. I take mine.
Yeah. You know, I don't think you want to
look
take
at
an
that.
iPhone.
I mean, just an example. There's one of the
Faye
quotes.
Winkleman.
Just an example of some of the great work in this book. Fantastic.
Joe, it's beautiful.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for sharing it. Great gift. If you're going to someone's cabin this summer, pick it up
bottle of wine.
Give it to them as a
12
gift.
pack. What do you think?
Up north, available on Amazon and at booksellers around the Twin Cities. And everybody in our audience, they got a freebie today.
That's great. All right. And Joe is very busy. He's going to be hosting an Up North cookout with Minnesota Bound's Ron Shera. We know Ron. Ron's daughter is a very good friend of ours. At the Oilery and Brothers Meat and Seafood in Maple Grove on Thursday. Will you please pick me up some of their 25-year aged balsamic at the
I will
Oilery?
do that. Otherwise, you're talking about the Cheetos over there.
Yeah, there's Cheetos.
I think we should go grab some Cheetos.
There's going to be some great food to sample. They're going to be signing books, too. It's totally free. Go on and check it out in Maple Grove. Thanks, Joe.
Thank you.